Good afternoon to the shareholders of New Age Metals and any interested party. I'm Harry Barr, the chairman and CEO of the company, and I'd like to give you an update, a midsummer update as to where our projects are going and some other related information to the company. We are focused primarily on critical metals. We have a PGM division, Platinum Group Metals. We have a joint venture with one of the largest companies in the world on our lithium division. We're now looking for gold and antimony in Newfoundland. And just recently, we made a very substantial investment in iron ore, which is a critical metal as of last year, into the shares of a company called Metalquest Mining. The first thing I'd like to say, some sad news in the early part of this month, that we lost our director, John Laundrie, a long-term veteran geologist. I've worked with John for over 20 years. He was our VP of exploration in the early days on our River Valley Platinum Group Metal project, and we worked many years there when we were working with Anglo Platinum, the largest platinum producer in the world, who put approximately 30 million into that project. So John was a real superstar. He was a great geologist. He's been a director of our company the last few years and an excellent director. Very professional, very kind man, and I always said a real gentleman. So we certainly want to give our condolences to John's family and an unbelievable legacy and a great man to work with. From there, we had to add another director, and I was really lucky and fortunate to be able to add Mr. Kurt Freeman. Kurt Freeman and I have worked together since 1985. I always made him blush when I said that he was the Wayne Gretzky of mineral exploration of Alaska. Kurt ran one of the largest exploration geology company in Alaska and worked for the juniors and the majors. Kurt and I, through our company that I was then the CEO for about 20 years, called Freeman Ventures, first acquired the property called Golden Summit and made the initial discovery. And now a lady that I worked with for many years and her team have done an excellent job for Freeman Ventures. It's one of the largest undeveloped gold projects just out of Fairbanks in Alaska, and they continue to add more resources to it. So Kurt has been on the forefront of several discoveries in Alaska and has worked around the world. So we're really happy to have him come on and help us on the board. From there in Newfoundland, where we added a new division, and we call it our gold antimony division, we've got about 11 projects in 2 different areas in Newfoundland. One of them is very close to the only permitted antimony mine in Canada. It's owned by a Chinese group. It's not in production now, but there's talk it could go back. I think it was in production as late as in the 2002-3 range. The projects we picked up around them, we've done a first phase of work, and we expect to go back into the field about the next week or so, near the end of August, to do the second phase of work. So we have a couple hundred different samples out, so we should be getting all that information back, I hope, in the next few weeks. And we'll be able to get information out on what happened in the first phase and what we're going to be doing on the second phase of work. The other thing that we just announced is that the Junior Exploration Assistance Program that focuses on critical metals, amongst other things, awarded us $71,975. So almost $72,000 as a grant. That's both federal and provincial, so we thank both the federal government and the provincial government of Newfoundland and Labrador. The other thing that came out just recently is Newfoundland, just in the last month or so, got ranked as the 8th best place by the Fraser Institute for the mining industry, best place to work. It's a top-tier mining jurisdiction. So we're happy to be in Newfoundland. We plan to add more properties to our portfolio down there and definitely have kicked off the second phase of work here in the next week or two. So a lot of news to come from Newfoundland. We mentioned this, and I did a video here about a week ago. We owned 6.44% of a company that's in our group called Metalquest Mining. And Metalquest Mining owns 100% of one of the largest undeveloped iron ore projects in the world, certainly in one of the biggest in North America. We were quite fortunate through Metalquest to pick this project up. We own it 100%. There are no property payments, no exploration work that has to be done in terms of with a contract. There are a lot of assessment work that we can use going forward. And the only thing we have against us is a 2.5% royalty that we could buy down over time. So our job with that company is to basically find a partner. About 120 to 150 million, depending on how you count it, has been spent on the project. It's all drilled out. It's a multi-billion ton deposit, and there was a bankable feasibility study done in 2015. So recently, Metalquest has hired the company Atkins Realities, a big international engineering company, to do a gap study, and that is looking at what needs to be done from the end of the 215 study to 225 and beyond. And we've just started that study, and so more news will be coming out on that. So again, we've got into our fourth investment in critical metals. This time it's iron ore. The Canadian government made the iron ore a critical metal last year, and so did the Quebec and the Newfoundland and Labrador government. So we're excited to be an investor in that, and we can go up to 19.4% of that company in terms of ownership with the warrants we have. So currently we're about 12.79%. That's a quick story on what we're doing here, mostly in Canada. Moving on to Alaska, on July 29th, we announced that we have a mapping and sampling program on our Genesis platinum group metal, copper, nickel project in Alaska. It is road accessible. There's a trail right off a main highway in the country. We have about 10,000 acres tied up there. There has been never any drilling done on it, but a couple of different surface programs have been done in the past. Our objective here is to find a partner and help us develop this. It has copper, it has nickel, and it has platinum group metals, both platinum and palladium. We're working on an area that we haven't done hardly anything on in the past called Sheep Hill this summer. And we've recently just wrapped up the program. And there's about 160 samples that have been sent to Reno, Nevada to be assayed. So we're going to get those assays. They're not going to come very quick, but what I'm hearing from our technical people, and we will do an updated geological report on the project before the end of the year. So more news coming out in Genesis as the summer goes on in the fall. Market outlook in terms of platinum and palladium. As a reminder, we have one of the largest undeveloped platinum group metal projects in North America through our River Valley project near Sudbury. All road accessible, approximately 50 million has been spent on the project to date. A couple 43-101 resource calculations over the years and a 223 preliminary economic assessment. So a lot of work's been done on that project. We probably followed palladium back in 222, went to about $3,400 an ounce, which was a fantastic price. And then it's kind of been in the tank the last couple of years, down in the early low 900 range. Recently, it's gone up about 17% in the last 6 months to about 1163, I think it is today, US dollars. And our second most important metal on that project is platinum, and it's gone from the low 900s to about 1328. With the Sprott group writing a lot of positive stuff about it in the last couple of write-ups about where platinum is going. And we think palladium is going to follow soon. So the project isn't on hold, but we're not doing a lot of work there, but we are submitting a new set of applications for drilling and other work we'd like to do on surface. And as the price of platinum group metals improve, you'll definitely be hearing a lot more about our River Valley project, which I believe is the underpinning asset of the whole company. The junior mining sector, the gold sector, seems to be doing well. It's up about 31% over the last 6 months. And I'm a fairly large investor in other companies in the junior sector. And as of a couple of weeks ago, I had 55 investments in the junior mining industry. And up until a couple, 3 months ago, somebody said, how are they doing? I said, I doubt if there are 5 of them are in the money. Well, that's changed a lot in the last 2 months. I would say there's 10 to 15 any given day in the money, and some of them have done tremendously well. So I think after 4.5 years of a terrible downturn for the junior mining industry, we're just at the cusp of the turn where investors will come back into our industry and invest in other metals outside of gold and silver. And, lithium even has changed a bit in the last couple months in terms of coming off its bottom. So it's not completely changed by any means, but we think it's the start of an upward trend that should go on for several years. Financial position of the company remains very good. We're debt free. We got about 2.7 million in the treasury, another $330,000 to $350,000, depending on the day, in securities that can be sold that are liquid. About 55.5 million shares issued and outstanding, and Eric Sprott still remains the largest shareholder as of 23.2%. And Mr. Sprott is basically the biggest investor in the junior mining sector worldwide and a billionaire, and we're certainly happy that he chose us and has remained with us over the last few years. Again, I think a lot of things are changing and that he has many investments in the gold and silver industry that seem to be much better in the last few months. So looking ahead, we have a very aggressive ongoing acquisition program looking at other critical metals. Now that we're in the gold business again with our gold and antimony down in Newfoundland, we're certainly looking at other gold opportunities. Fantastic price for gold, almost $3,400 US an ounce. And I don't see that changing. The world is in terrible shape. Most countries are broke but just don't admit it, and that's a scary situation itself. But we see that gold and silver and precious metals like platinum group metals are definitely looking very good in the future in the years to come. So that's a quick overview. If you would like to have a personal interview with us, please book online with myself, Harry Barr, or Freeman, who's in charge of our investor relations. And I'd like to thank everybody for your time and effort and following our company. And wish you all the best, and we will keep you posted as to our activities going forward. Thank you.